Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of Pinfalls. I, of course, am Johngy of JohnGBeat.com and GlobalWomenSportsRadio.com. And with me, as always, the man I refer to as the Miz of the Midwest wrestling scene, Tommy Else. How are you, Tommy?
Why do you refer to me as that?
Well, because you kind of got your place in wrestling through reality TV, the Resistance. Yet you worked your butt off. You became very popular. You've carved out a very nice career. The only thing you're missing is Maurice.
All right. Well, I don't agree with any of that, but let's get into the show. Let's get into our predictions here. Do you have the tally for the year to date on hand? I've got it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So year to date, which is all I really care about, is 15-15. I'm even. I'm 50-50 on my predictions for the year. You have 11 correct, 19 incorrect.
Yeah, I'm on a downward spiral right now, but that's going to change today.
All right, so let's get into the show. Let's talk.
All right, so today we're discussing WWE WrestleMania Backlash, which airs Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Peacock Network. It's back to Sunday, which I know neither one of us likes. There are six matches. Let's jump into them. Let's lead off with Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins.
I say Seth Rollins wins this. I have a feeling it'll be through some sort of either interference or some sort of nefarious means, but I think that they have a good rivalry building between these two. So Seth has to get one over on Cody here, and I'm enjoying it very much. I really do like the American Nightmare and how he's being his storyline and the way he's being portrayed in the WWE. It's been one of the more exciting parts of the show lately. I apologize to our viewers as I have been sick the last few days, so if I sound a little dry.
He's being a warrior. He's soldiering through for the good of the cause.
I'm just trying to hang in there, but anyway, no, I think they've been great. I think, Seth Rollins is an awesome. His character these days is just great. I love it. I love the suits. I love the personality. I really think he's hit a stride with this. He seems to me like a Jericho in some ways, in that he has gone through a lot of different iterations of himself already. So I doubt that he'll settle into this forever, but I'm enjoying this while it's going.
I agree 100%. The only thing I'll add is in WWE booking 50-50 and all that garbage. Cody should win this. He should, but he's not going to. It's going to be Seth Rollins. They'll continue the feud, carry it out for the next pay-per-view, keep it going. So I am also going with Seth Rollins.
All right.
Next one, we have the match that I really hate. Drew McIntyre and RK Bro versus the Usos and Roman Reigns.
Well, I can just tell you right out of the gates that I too am upset about this match. I don't know what your reasons are, but mine are that this was originally supposed to be RK Bro versus the Usos in a title unification match. And I was psyched up for it. I was ready for it. I was looking forward to it. And I would have, if that was the match, I would have predicted that the Usos win and would take the titles and would unify them. And then for them at the last second to decide to throw Drew McIntyre into this, and who did they say?
Roman Reigns.
Reigns is the third guy. Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Because so first of all, you lose a Roman Reigns title match in there because now he's involved in this thing. There's no titles on the line. There's really nothing at stake. Where we just went from another match that was everything was on the line, and now it's been completely scaled back. My prediction on this is that RK Bro and Drew McIntyre will win this match. They'll give them one last good one, and then unless they're holding off the unification for some reason, I would think then like the next pay-per-view or whatever, then the Usos win. I don't think they'll let the Usos win like 2 back-to-back and then unify the titles. So I would say, yeah, I think it's going to be RK Bro going over.
Once again, I agree 100%. This match serves nothing except as a placeholder for everything. The other part of it is there's only one title match on this card. How do you have a pay-per-view? You have how many titles do you have in the company right now? But you have a pay-per-view with one title on the line. It just to me makes no sense at all.
Yeah. No,
especially when they had it set up to have a title match, and then they took it away and made it a 6-man tag. And I like a good 6-man tag, even if there's no reason behind it. But this 6-man tag, it just destroys everything.
But when it started out as one thing and then gets dumbed down,
yes,
then it's frustrating.
Exactly. So we move on to Edge versus AJ Styles with Priest is banned from ringside.
Yeah, I think I'm just going AJ Styles on this just because, again, I think they want to keep the rivalry going. It calls into question Edge's ability to maintain his position if he doesn't have Priest there. So I think that just as a vehicle to keep this rivalry going and give Edge more time to build his stable, which is the rumor that there were obviously, Damian Priest isn't going to be the only guy in this Judgment Day group that he has now, which I don't like the name of. And the only reason I don't like the name of it is because it was a pay-per-view for like 20 years. And so anytime I ever hear Judgment Day, I just think the pay-per-view. It's like if he named his thing Backlash, it's like, I don't know, of all the names they could have picked, I just think there's got to be another one out there that they could have been, but whatever. I'm sure I'll get over it.
3 for 3. I agree with you completely. AJ takes this one. It's 50-50 booking at its best. It carries the feud to the next page. That's kind of when I think about this pay-per-view. It just seems like it's just filling time. Like they don't really care about it. Let's just throw some matches on it, continue it, and then the next one we'll do something.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, like this is not for me. This is not a hard show to predict. I mean, they may throw a couple of left turns at you, but I mean, what I'm looking at on paper is not a very hard show to predict.
But not only is it not a hard show to predict, like, do you really care?
It's not particularly interesting,
but do you really care?
Right. The storylines. I mean, I think the strongest storyline going right now is the Cody Rhodes Seth Rollins one.
Yeah.
At least on this card. AJ Styles and Edge would probably be close behind them. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't know.
Well, we'll get to the women's match later because that part of that will come up in this too. But then we move along to Lashley versus Omos.
Right. I say again, I think Omos wins. Lashley, if Lashley goes over on Omos twice, in pay-per-views, then Lashley won the arm wrestling contest and and all this. So he's been getting little victories along the way. He won the match at WrestleMania. Omos is never going to look strong if he doesn't, get his comeuppance soon in just a match. Even if MVP interferes or whatever, he's got to go over. Otherwise it just makes him look weak. So I'm going with Omos.
Yeah, where do you go from here if Omos loses again? Where do you go from here?
Right.
And just have him, a third match where he could get his butt kicked. And it wouldn't make sense to have a third match and then have him go over strong because then what do you do with Lashley? Lashley won 2 in a row and got his butt kicked. So
it won't look strong if it took him, those 2 matches. And it's not like he's a good guy underdog that you're waiting to see like come up. I mean, because that scenario can work under the right circumstances. But when you're talking about a heel and he's just this monster and somehow can't, granted, Lashley is nothing to sneeze at by any means, but still, if you're going to put this guy over and give him a chance to be successful, then yeah, he's got to get a win over one of the biggest, strongest dudes in the company. So,
all right, so let's go to another match. Why do I sound so depressed for this card? Let's go with Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. And what does Joyful Tommy have to say about this one?
Oh God! Don't
see how I incorporate in there, trying to pick up the spirit a little bit of this.
Yeah, that was rough.
Joyful Tommy.
Joyful Tommy. Yeah, I sound real joyful. I'm
I,
going with.
I could have said jovial.
You could just not say anything. That could
Well, it wouldn't be much of a show.
Yeah, well, no comment. I'm going with Madcap Moss. I think that again, it's here's why. Happy Corbin has more or less been undefeated since becoming Happy Corbin, with the exception of their loss at WrestleMania, but that was like a tag match or something like that. So if Madcap beats Corbin in, more or less ends his brief undefeated streak, it fuels the rivalry and lets them go off and carry on with each other. I could really care less about the match altogether, but if you're asking what I think is going to happen, that's my input.
Well, you'll be happy to know that I'm taking Mr. Corbin.
Unbelievable.
Yes, I think it's time for him to just put a beat down on Madcap Moss, hopefully end this whole stupid thing and move on to both these guys deserve better than that.
I wouldn't be opposed to it happening. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that happen. But I mean, everything else seems fairly predictable, and I think Corbin's established, relatively speaking, and I mean, at least in comparison to Madcap Moss, and this would give him a bump up a little bit, and it wouldn't be at a major expense on Happy Corbin's part either.
No, you're right. I mean, this one kind of was the flip of a coin for me. I ended up going with Happy just because I think he's going to win it, but it wouldn't shock me if he doesn't. But let's move on to the match. Probably my second most favorite match on this card. We got SmackDown Women's Championship on the line as the champ Charlotte Flair once again defends against Ronda Rousey. And I have to keep saying, or I have to keep echoing what you had said, that Rousey's return has not been as exciting as people or as WWE had hoped, I believe.
Yeah, I still don't feel like people are really that strongly behind her. It
is an I Quit match. I'm sorry.
Yes, and that's very important. There's a lot of pride in an I Quit match. It's like it's that losing that match carries more weight than losing a regular match. Okay. You got to ask yourself what WWE's plan for Ronda Rousey is, because she lost at WrestleMania after all the fire. I'm trying to build her up. And like I said, and you were saying, the crowd really hasn't been that behind her. There's still plenty of people who are, aren't real big on Charlotte, or at least they are being good fans as far as treating her like the heel that she's supposed to be. I mean, she's certainly getting more of a reaction from the crowd than Rousey is. If Charlotte Flair makes Ronda Rousey tap out, Ronda Rousey may as well never come back to WWE. I mean,
exactly.
That's it. I mean, she may as well just, that should be her last match, and then it's over. So I'm not saying I guess my only reluctance in this is only just my personal. I don't want to see Rousey win at this point. But like I said, logically, I don't see how she can come back from I Quit with Charlotte Flair. As great as Charlotte Flair is, I mean, if you're going to have anything with Ronda Rousey, who's supposed to be one of the baddest women in the world, and this kick-ass UFC fighter and everything, and she taps out, or not only taps out, says I quit, that's it, man. I don't see where the hell you can go from there. So
you're exactly right. If she taps out to Charlotte, what do you do with her then? Now she's lost twice in a row. You don't bring her back. If she doesn't get another shot, you just throw her at the bottom of the rung of the ladder. But then she's just lumped in with everybody else. And they have to have bigger plans for her.
It takes the specialness off of her, because because if this was Charlotte Flair and anybody else, it would have, whatever. So they said, I quit. It's bad. And, it's a tough loss to take and everything, but, but when your bread and butter is that you are like a submission expert and you are an MMA fighter and, and everything, like if you say I quit, I mean, it holds way more weight than it would even just for your average pro wrestler. I mean, like her whole gimmick is this thing. And if she gets defeated, so what's the word I'm looking for here? Definitively. Thank you. If she gets beaten so definitively like that in an I quit match, I think she's lost all of her credibility as her character. And then what do you do? So,
right. Well, Ronda's got to win this. My only question is there, okay, two parts. Ronda could turn heel. This could be a double turn where she turns heel, Charlotte turns face, although I'm not sure about Charlotte as a face. It could also be Charlotte taking time off after this. But is there a way for is there a way for Charlotte not to quit but still lose the match? Like if she gets knocked out completely and is out cold.
So that is a possibility, is they find a way where neither one of them ends up saying I quit. And maybe it would take something like what you're saying, though. I mean, like they would have someone have to like leave on a stretcher or something like that, because you can't DQ an I quit match.
But can you? Is it a no DQ I quit match, or is it just an I quit match? Why can't there be a DQ?
I think it's inferred that there's no DQ in an I quit match, because you can do anything you want to the person. Your goal is just to make them say I quit.
Well, then could Ronda put down such a beat down on Charlotte and perhaps go to nefarious means to just completely wipe her out, decimate her, knock her out completely, and then she's declared the winner, but Charlotte did not quit. Ronda turns heel, Charlotte takes some time off, which might be good for her character at this point and free up the division a little bit.
I think that would be a fantastic way. I think that's a great scenario. Yeah, I think that. I think that would be great, because it would put some fire on, because they got to do something about Ronda. So making her turn heel, if she goes in there and just beats the crap Brock Lesnar style on Charlotte and then sends her away, Charlotte gets some time off. Then when she comes back, she's got a vendetta with her. Won't matter if she's heel or face at that point, I'm sure just get, so I think that's a good call. I think that in itself is a good prediction.
All right. Well,
we'll have to keep a close eye on it. I do want to make a comment though about this show, in that I do not like that it is called WrestleMania Backlash. Like, I don't like that they're throwing the WrestleMania name around the way that they are. I think it should just be Backlash, WWE Backlash. It's been fine for 25 years. They can keep just doing it, because you could do that all year round if you want to.
Well, Backlash would imply that there's a major tie-in to WrestleMania where you get rematches and such, which would then reduce the whole impact of WrestleMania, actually, because we're going to have rematches next month. But this isn't really a bunch of rematches. There's some.
Yeah, I just think that it waters down the WrestleMania name, and it's already, a 2-night event, and
agreed.
So I just I would appreciate it if anybody in the WWE office is watching this, if they could take that under advisement. I would appreciate it. So,
well, I'm sure somebody's watching it. We've got a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
Maybe a Bruce Pritchard is watching it and duly noted.
I hope so.
Okay, well, let's end this one. We're in agreement on 5 of the 6. We agree on the ending of the Rousey match. We agree on the Backlash. A lot of agreement, a lot of positivity. You're not feeling well, so we should just cut it right here.
Okay.
Any famous last words before we end this Pinfalls episode?
No, I just I'm grateful again to be here, and look forward to watching Backlash. If you are around, I am, as always, having people over. So come by if you want.
Well, everybody, that's it for Pinfalls this time. As always, I'm Johngy, thanking my partner, Tommy Else, for joining me. Enjoy the show.
Have fun.